Welcome to Princess Extortion Real 100. I just came from doing 2 visits at a prison called Northern Neck Regional Jail. So this here is Northern Neck Regional Jail. So I'm going to give you some insight on this prison. So back in, let me see if I can move. So thank y'all. I just had a little situation up in this prison, but at the end of the day. So Northern Neck Regional Jail is actually called Warsaw. Warsaw is one of the prisons that when DC inmates, when you leave DC jail, they bring you here. They bring you here to be transferred to Oklahoma Transit, where you will be going to the feds. Oklahoma Transit is in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Everyone that is going to the feds, you get transferred from Northern Neck, which is called Warsaw, to Oklahoma City, which is called Federal Transit. At the Federal Transit, they will tell you what the prison is that you're going to. The guards in there, they already know, it's already in a system what prison you will be going to. So they will tell you you're going to, say like for the females, you're going to FPC Alderson. That means Federal Prison Camp, Alderson Federal Prison Camp. They will tell you you're going to Danbury, Connecticut, FPC Danbury. FPC is always in front of it because it's called Federal Prison Camp or Federal Prison Medium. You have camp, medium, the penitentiary, and then you have what's the other one? Camp, medium, penitentiary. Because it's like Alderson is the camp for women. Then it's another camp. Then it's FC, like you have FCI Gilmore or something like that. So those are like in the middle part. But you have to, sometimes you have some prisoners, their charge is very high. So if they're charged, sometimes murderers don't go to a camp. You have to work your way down. You have to work your way to camp status, or you have to work your way to medium camp status. That's what I mean, medium prison. So the FCIs are medium prisons and the penitentiaries are the highest. Okay, so at Northern Neck Regional Jail, I was here in 2008. This was the worst experience for me as a woman because I had no idea of how this type of prison was. At Warsaw, they do not give you underwear. Women, whatever underwear, that go for the men too. It's men and women in here. And today I went to see a brother and a sister. And unfortunately, they will not be going home. They're going from here, as I said, to a federal prison. So it was like a lot for me today because it took me back, you know what I'm saying, of how I was when I was in here. And as for the young lady, she's never been locked up before. So I had to like give her some tactics of some things like how I use, what I used and how I used. Yeah, just give me a minute to get, I'm going with y'all, but I'm getting myself problems. So I'm trying to. Okay, so they don't give you anything. They give you one jumpsuit for women and men. They give you one jumpsuit, a sheet, and you get a small packet that had one soap. They give you a towel and a washcloth. Everything else that you come from DC jail with, that is what you will have. And I mean, like for women, if you have your bra on, you will keep that bra on. The panties you have on, you will keep those panties on. And that's the humiliating part about it, because you have to stay there. You never know when you're really leaving. Some people may leave in a week. Some people may leave in 6 months. Some people may leave in 8 months. During that time, you will have on that bra and that one pair of panties the whole time. They have a mattress no bigger than my 2 fingers. It's about, let me see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, maybe 10 to 15 bunk beds in each pod. The pod that I was in, I had 10 to 15 women. The shower and the toilet is right beside each other. So you'll have the toilet right here. You know, your toilet is here and the seat part is out this way. Right beside that is the shower. You have no shower curtain. The shower is right there. There is a wall, like a lower wall right there. That's it. That was the most humiliating part when I was in there. You do not go to a kitchen to eat or like a cafeteria. They literally feed you through a slot. So in the pod, each inmate has to line up and you get your food through a slot. The trays come through a slot. So I was just informed that they have Skype, but they have to pay for the Skype, and the Skype is $80. $80 for 1 hour. That is ludicrous. Like, for real, that is ludicrous, but that's the prison system. So Warsaw, you are in the park. They take you out, you know, like certain times they'll take you, certain inmates you can go to, like they have a library, which is really nothing, but a lot of inmates, they go because that to give them air. What I mean by air is, like, if you're in a pod all day with a bunch of women, or if you're in a pod all day with a bunch of men, it's good to just let them walk you around the building to stretch your legs, or just to see if you see something different. You're not going to see nothing different, but it's just the thinking part of it, you know what I'm saying? So they have a gym in there. It's just one big open area. The women and the men don't mix, but every prison you go to, the women and the men, they find their way to get to each other. When I was in there, on my way coming there from DC jail, they had us on a van. On the van, it was 6 women, including me, and 6 men. So the van was divided. We had 4 people on one side, which I was one of the 4 people on the left side behind the driver. There is a driver and a passenger, police officers. There is a gate in the middle of that, and there is a little door on the van. The other 2 women, they were sitting on the other side, which is a 2-seater. In the middle, that is a lane. So you got me, 4 women up front, 4 men in the back, 2 women on the side, 2 men in the back. So there was a female on the bus, on the van, and her and the dude, they actually had sex. Like, I will never forget this. So by them taking us in the mid-morning, like, they came to get us from DC jail like about 8:30, 9 o'clock. DC jail didn't release us to them till like about 1:30, 2 o'clock. From DC to Warsaw is 2.5 hours, like an hour and a half. You come to Richmond Highway. I'm on the van asleep. The other 2 girls, I don't know what they were doing, but however, handcuffed, which was surprising to me, but dudes do what they gonna do. So when we got to Warsaw, the officer officer thought that she had peed on herself, and he was like, "You peed on yourself? Why didn't you say you had to go to the bathroom?" So she said, "I didn't want to say I had to go to the bathroom. Then y'all tell me no, I would have ended up peeing on myself anyway." When you get to Warsaw, they do. Every prison you go to during intake, you have to shower. So Warsaw showers you, and they put this disinfect stuff in your hair for lice. So they're looking at her, and the man went on the other side. But I noticed that he kept trying to get at her, say stuff to her, make sure she was all right. So, but in my head, I wasn't thinking, about nothing like that, because here it is. I just left my son. I'm going to federal prison. That wasn't on my mind to be thinking about nothing like that. So when we got there, they separated us. They took us on one side, took them on the other side. But he kept sending her messages. And by me being in Warsaw, when I first came in, the dudes was in the gym. So they had to walk us past the gym. And I'll never forget it, like I said. There's a dude, his name is Jamal Cannon. He's from Southeast. His name is Silk. His name is really Silk too on the street. He was banging on the window, and he was like, "Princess, why you looking like that? Why you?" And I hadn't seen Jamal in over maybe like 15 years or something, so I didn't recognize him. So the other dudes and they was like, "She cute, she dark skin, who is that?" And he was, he told him who I was and everything, and he was knocking on, and I'm looking like, I don't know these, because y'all know how I go places, I be like, I don't know these people. I don't expect to see people all the time that know me in places, especially something like that. So he was calling only certain people on the street call me Princess, because my son father gave me that name many years ago. So I was like, wait a minute. So I'm looking. So the girl that they had us handcuffed. You are always handcuffed either by yourself or chained to another inmate. So they had me in her handcuff. So she was like, "Gilmore, this dude is talking to you. He telling me to touch you." So I'm looking, I was like, "Who is that?" So then he said it, and I was like, "Oh my God, what is he doing down here?" So when I got to the pod, the police came and she pulled me out, and she was like, "You Astoria Gilmore, right?" And I said, "Yeah." So she was like, "Silk sent this to you. He sent me a bag with soap, lotion, and all that stuff, right?" So I'm like, "Can he do this?" So she was like, "Take it. Just go ahead and take it and go ahead back in the park." Mind you, she came to get me like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. So I go back in the park, and I'm in my head thinking like, oh my God, what is going on? But I had much gratitude and much respect for him to do that, because he had already known how the prison was, but I didn't. So, I became cool with certain girls, and female people don't understand. Females in prison, they real petty. Like, they real petty. So me and a girl was cool, and I used to braid her head. Her name was Tanya. And I got tired of braiding her hair. I had things on my mind. Do you know this hoe got mad? Got mad and tried to start a whole lot of stuff in the pod. So by him knowing me, he asking them, "What's going on with her? What's up with her?" So it was a white girl in there. So the white girl went back and told him, was like, "Man, they in there, trying to start stuff." Her, he was like, "They don't want to do that. Please tell them they don't want to do that." She is not quiet. She not who y'all think she is. So, however, they took us down. They asked us, did we want to go to rec? So I was like, yeah, cool, I'm gonna go to rec. So when we walking down, he is telling them, he was up on the tier part of the building. The dudes was on the top floor, we was on the bottom. But when you walking through a part in there, they can see you. So he calling my name, and I'm like, I am not entertaining him. I'm just not. So he was like, "Princess, they better not F with you down. They already told them they don't know who they dealing with." And I'm saying to myself, you not going with me to prison, so I'm going to have to deal with these bras myself, but thank you. So she, like, I always, and I did it with every prison I went to, I don't like to take showers when all the women taking showers, because see, they like to play games. They want to spank you on your tail or grab you by your breast. I don't play them type of games. So I had to let them know, like, don't come at me like that or one of y'all gonna be drowned. I'm for real. I don't play those type of games. It's not funny to me. We not cool, none of that. So the police in there, they knew they could see me on the camera. This happened. I told y'all my other story about the bra who got in the shower with me, who called herself trying to rape me. I take my showers at every prison if I can on those type of hours, because I know how they play games. So they could see me on the camera. So I got up to take my shower, and when I came back, I noticed that my jumper wasn't on my bed, because I had put the jumper on my bed because they had put me in a pod. My bunk bed was like right, and I hated it because when the women went to the bathroom, I could smell them, like literally smell them using the toilet and all that. I hated my bed being right there. So my bed was right by the toilet in the shower. So I would just take my towel, wrap around me, run to, my bunk, dry myself off, and and every night I was washing my underwears and my bra in the shower while I'm showering. So when I got to my bunk, my jumper wasn't on the bed. So I was like, my bunkie, she was an older lady. She was asleep, and I woke her up, and I was like, you seen my jumper? She was like, you know, I'm down here sleeping. No, and I don't know if somebody came with some. So another little girl that was cool with me, she was on the bunk down from me, and she jumped off the bunk. She said, Tanya came over and took your jumper. So I was like, so I asked her, I said, you got another jumper over there? She said, Gilmore, they only give us one jumper. I said, fuck it. I took my I wrapped it around me, and I tore it where I could tie it. So I tied it, and Tanya bunk was on the other part and going towards the back of the pod. Man, I went to her bunk, and I told her, I said, I'm going to tell you right now. I knocked on the steel part of her bunk. I said, I'm going to tell you right now, you got less than a minute to give me my jumper, or I'm going to work you in here, like for real. So she's talking about, Gilmore, you better go ahead and watch your business. I don't know what she's talking about. Next thing I knew, I snatched her off that top of that bunk, and we was wrecking. It was over at that point. It was over, because I was like, now I'm frustrated. Now you want to play games. You've been in here starting shit for the whole week for money. This, that, and the other girl. Like, I'm not a crime told her. I was like, look, go ahead. I'm not braiding your. I was already at my limit. So the police, we can hear their feet run. Hit a goon squad running down there. So one of the girls jumped off the bed, Spanish girl. She was like, Gilmore, come on, break it up. Y'all break it up. Break it up. Tanya, give her jumper, right? So she was like, Gilmore, here go your jumper. So I ran to my bunk. So when they came in and turned the lights on, they was like, what's going on in here? What's going on here? Gilmore, get down on the ground, right? But she was already back on her bunk with the blanket over her. But I was standing up because I was trying to put my jumper on. So they ran and they said, Gilmore, get on the ground. So I put my hands up, I get on the ground. So the lieutenant came in there. He said, Gilmore, what's going on? I said, nothing. He said, why was you up? So I said, I had to find my jumper. I said, I left my jumper on the top of the bed when I went to take a shower, and it was on the floor somewhere. I don't know where it was. So I was running inmates up. They was laughing and stuff. So he was like, Gilmore Summers. So I said, look, nothing. I just told you nothing else happened. I was in there looking for my jumper. He said, so why was your when I went to the shower and I didn't know? I'm telling you, nothing happened. So he was like, all right, Gil, I'm gonna send you back to the pod. So I go back to the pod 2 days later. I guess because when you got bullies and they be bullying other females, and then when a female really stand up to them and the other female see, or the other people period see that bully is really not who they pretend to be, that's when they be having problems. So 2 days after that, a big black lady came in the pod. Her name was Miss Gwen. Miss Gwen was on so much medication. I was like, I've never seen a lady take this much medication. And when they would call medication, she would get up and run to that door like she owned all them pills. So Tanya tried to sell her some stuff that she had, you know what I'm saying? It was some pills. It was some pills. And Miss Gwen ended up buying the pills from Tanya. Man, I don't know what was in that pill, but Miss Gwen couldn't sleep. So she running around the pod waking everybody up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, y'all get up, get up, get up. It's 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. She telling us she want them to turn the TV on because she not sleepy. So everybody in the pod like, I don't get into all that. Everybody in the pod like, Miss Gwen, go to sleep. Miss Gwen, what is wrong with you? Man, Miss Gwen can't, whatever Tanya gave her, she came out of that shit 2 days later. She said, Tanya, I want to know what them pills was. So Tanya done got her money, charged this lady $150 for 2 pills. Miss Gwen had her people on the outside to send the money to Tanya Commissar. So she's sitting over there. Now she got another girl to put, hey man, Ruth. Now she got another girl over there to braid her hair. So I'm sitting on the top of my bunk and I'm reading a magazine. Now, I don't know what Tanya said to Miss Gwen, but all I know is Miss Gwen snatched her out of that chair and headlocked her, and Tanya was screaming, and all I could do was sit there and just be, I had the magazine in my hand. I was like, she beat the brakes off her in that joint, like for real. Like she beat, Tanya was not even fighting her back. That's the bad part. When we was fighting, we wasn't really scrumpy because we couldn't scrump in the middle. Y'all know I don't tell no lie. I keep it real. Wrestling. Miss Gwen, I don't know what Miss Gwen got her from in the middle of the bunk beds, baby, and she beat the brakes off Tanya. I was like, they shut the whole fucking unit down. Both her eyes was black. When I looked at her ass, I bust out laughing. I bust out laughing. They was like, Gilmore over there. I was rolling. I was like, see, when you do shit to people, karma come back to you. Now look at you sitting up in here looking like Froggy. She had one of her eyes was sitting up here, and the other one, it was sitting out. It was black as shit. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Now she want to be my friend. Gilmore, do you got any ice? Can you give me some ice? I said, who? I'm not getting you no dough. So in Warsaw is really bad. So after the fight, they start splitting us up. I never knew they had this part in Warsaw. They took us to a part that was all the way down in the back in the basement. It was a big part, a big glass part, but I could see the dudes across from me. So Silk was in there, another dude was in there. They DC dudes was in there. He done passed my name. Some of y'all know she in here, she in here, she in here. I done seen like 4 or 5 other dudes from DC that I hadn't seen in years. So everybody want to bring me stuff. And you know, it's a jealousy thing in prison too. So they like, nah, make sure they telling the police. That's what I'm saying. Some prisons, the police be in on a lot of stuff. They be in it. So they telling the police, they like, nah, make sure she get this much. And I'm telling him, don't bring me no more of that stuff because I'm all right. You gave me enough soap. You gave me enough shampoo, like cookies, candies, and soups and all that. I ain't want all that stuff. So the young girl that was cool with me, she was like, Gilmore, well, if you don't want it, I want it. So I ended up giving it to her because I was getting money on my commissary, but she wasn't. And I was calling home every day. So she wasn't. So I was giving it to her. So we get down to the other pod. So it was another dude in there. He was across from me. He was from Michigan. And he was like, shorty, they say you like that distance. I'm looking at him like, nigga, we in prison. What is you talking about? I'm not trying to talk to you. He's talking about, oh, I'll be going home in the next 2 years. You want to give me your number to heart? I'm like, no. He was like, damn, you mean? I was like, nigga, you in prison with me. Then you talking about you from Michigan. What is we going to do? Nothing. So let's just keep it like that. So they come down, the goon squad came down, and I don't know what he did. He did something. It was something about him on his visit. He ended up passing somebody something on his visit or something. And he wouldn't come out. They told him to come out of the pod so they could shake him down. And he wouldn't come out. And that's the first time I ever really felt bad that I actually seen a dude get whooped by the police. Man, they went in that pod and grabbed him out of that pod and beat the dog shit out of him. We were standing at the glass. I couldn't even move. I was like, oh my God. So the other girls that was on the side of me, you know, like down on the side, they was banging on the window like, don't do that to him. And I'm just standing there looking like, this is horrific. He can't, but homie was strong. I'm gonna give it to him. They picked him up off the ground, right? So usually when they do stuff to people like that, you lose what I would say, you lose feeling, or you be so out of it that you can't stand up and shit. Homie got up. This one I said, it's getting ready to get real for me. This right here made it get real. DC jail was real when I seen the dude heard the dude getting stabbed up with the yellow books around him. But for me to actually see him, man, he got up off that. When they picked him up on the ground, man, he took the police stick and beat the shit out the police. I was like, he going down. He is going down. He turned around. I could not believe it. His face was bleeding. His face was bleeding. They had busted his mouth all up. But when we found out they had knocked his teeth out his mouth and everything, he took the police baton from the other side and he beat that police. He was swinging the baton so fast, beating the police. The other two police, they didn't want to get hit, so they letting the police, man, they ended up having to mace him in order to get the whole situation under control. I was like, I get this nigga big ups. For real. So when people be, you know, talking all this so-called prison stuff, you know what I'm saying, like, just all I can say is tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be glorified. I'm not trying to be over top of no niggas or no females talking about prison, because I'm gonna tell the truth, because I experienced it. I'm gonna tell you my experiences, and I'm gonna tell you what I seen from other people. I'm not just gonna stand up and talk about what they say going on, what's going on. I'm going to tell you the truth. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Prison is never a good place. And Warsaw was one of the worst. Warsaw was real dirty. I mean, like dirty. Like you could go to the toilet, man, and you could see dust in the corner. Like it was real dirty in there. And it's bad because the feds get money for each inmate every day. Every day that you are in prison, they get paid for you. They get paid for you. That's why I told somebody before, it was like I was prostituting for free, because they was trafficking, you know, sending me here, sending me there, not sexually sleeping with nobody, but just by them getting money for me. And it's real. It's real. And you come across a lot of different people, and I will say from different states. I have came across a lot of good sisters. I really have. But they also have that little lich, that gang stuff, you know, with DC and all that stuff. And for me, I really didn't know nothing about that, because on the street, I'm not with a gang. It's always been me. I roll by myself, you know what I'm saying? It's a couple of times I had situations with other females that I roll with them to help them out with stuff. But in prison, it's seriously the gang stuff. So when I got to Hazleton, that's when I really realized, you know what I'm saying, what was going on with it, because it was DC against Florida. But for some reason, the police on the Florida girl side, then the DC side, and then that's when Eleanor Holmes made it strict for DC people to go to Hazleton, because Hazleton was close to home. So I mean, you know, like it's a lot that goes with that stuff. That it's nothing. I'm trying to find my keys, y'all. It's nothing to. I'm not sacrificing myself for nobody. I won't. You know what I'm saying? And there were times, you know, when I felt like I was outnumbered with a lot of stuff because I don't do drugs. I've never smoked weed. I've never done any hardcore drugs. I never smoked boat, none of that. So for me to be in a prison in that type of setting where you got females in there, they seriously popping pills, going to the infirmary, getting pills as medication, and they in the room crunching them up, snorting them. That was a lot for me. So I felt sometimes that I was outnumbered in that, in that situation. Like they would be like, okay, Gilmore, we're gonna go ahead. Even with gambling, I would not, and I know how, everybody that know me know I know how to shoot dice. And I know how to shoot dice good, but I wouldn't do it in prison. I wouldn't do it in prison because I just was like, this ain't the place to be doing that. Like, I'm trying to go home. I'm not trying to be in the mix with everybody else. I have a number. I have a release date. I have a family. I have stuff I have to go to the streets for. I'm not trying to be all up in this. So I was outnumbered with a lot of stuff. And then, when I got out of Florida and my bunkie got raped, I mean, like, it was a lot for me. Like, people don't understand that shit play with your mind for real. So, but when I got to Florida was so nice. And I'm just saying, like, for being in a prison, Florida was real clean. And when we got outside on the grounds of Florida, man, that's all you seen was the sun. The grass was cut. It wasn't no dirt out there. The grass was cut real good. So, of course, I was trying to stay, but I couldn't stay because I wasn't supposed to be there. I was not supposed to be there. So my paperwork got mixed up. I was not supposed to be there. But then when I seen, because Florida had gangs too. Shit, them Florida girls, they was ready. And my shit stamped DC. So they like, oh, she from DC too? Because a lot of women in prison, like, I complain about my teeth now, and I said on one of my videos, I'm getting my teeth is not bad. It's just spaced, and I don't like that. So when I first got to prison, they didn't think I was from DC. And that was like real hurtful to me because my other sisters from DC, they was there. And I had to ask a girl, I said, why y'all feel like that? She said, Gilmore, you have all your teeth, your skin, the way you look, your shape, like you don't look like a DC girl. DC females come in here and they be really messed up. Like drugs and everything, they be really, really messed up. So you don't look like a DC girl. They went and they was looking at my, and they were serious. They was looking at my number on everything, and this happened in Danbury. But because it was some DC girls in Danbury that knew me from the streets, they was like, she from DC. But basically, I out-topped all of them because they were drug addicts. I never looked down on them because a lot of them, I knew them from DC, but I knew they was getting high. So they was like, y'all playing Gilmore, not from Gilmore. You need to stop playing with them. And I'm telling them like, nah, I'm from DC. But they didn't. And so when I got to Florida, it took them like 3 months to really figure out or really pin it down like she is from DC. Because, like, I'm a versatile person, so I don't pick and choose who I speak to or who I bond with. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm getting in a cell with certain broads, I was in a cell with a broad from Tennessee, the one from DC, and the one from Mississippi. That's the one who got raped. I'm like, they cool. You know what I'm saying? I ain't come here to be friends with them, but I'm in a room with them. So first they had us in a room with 4 people. Then they was like, no, we can't do this. And I couldn't do it anyway. I can't live with no another woman. It's bad enough I gotta be in prison and live in a cell with another woman. But you put me in a cell with 4 women, I was complaining. I was like, I can't do this. Like, put me in a shoe. If you got a problem with me, put me in a shoe. And then in the shoe, I can live out. They was like, the police couldn't believe it. They was like, Gilmore, you not complaining? No. But other females that was in the shoe, man, them bras was screaming and hollering all night. They want pills to go to sleep. I'm in the shoe just as calm. because I'm a self-preserved person, so I can be by myself. I can be in a cell by myself like that. It didn't bother me. And the police was surprised. They was like, I was in the SHU one time for 6 months. Because the first time they tried to take me out, he wanted to take me to a unit, and I was like, I'm not going to that unit. If you're not taking me back to the unit that I came from, I'm gonna stay in this joint until you get a space. And then I'm not going to no another unit. I'm going back to the unit you brought me from. So I had three months in. He was like, you gonna be in here for 3 more months? I don't care, but you're gonna take me back to the unit that I came from. So they was surprised, and the girls that was coming, they was like, Gilmore, you ain't gonna be able to see daylight. Your eyes gonna be burning and stuff because you down here in the hole. I was like, I'm good with it. Y'all coming here screaming and hollering, complaining. I don't do that, because see, in the SHU, you can't get certain things. And the only thing that really hurted me when I was in the SHU, I couldn't call my son and call home on a regular. In the SHU, you only get 1 phone call a month. And if they bring, and that's when I realized how my son father was living, when he was telling me, well, I'm hearing them bring the phone down the hall. I'm saying, bring the phone down the hall. So in my head, I'm thinking they either got the phone in their hand, bringing it to his cell, or they got it sometime. But I never imagined how that, baby, they had the phone was already connected to the wheels, and they rolling the phone. And I'm looking, when he bought the phone, I'm looking down at the phone like, oh my God, this is hilarious. So that's other than that, all that, you can't get. Only thing in the SHU you can get is hygiene stuff. You can't get no potato chips. You can't get no real commissary. So a lot of the females, they was worried about me on that level. They was like, Gilmore, you not getting. And I was like, I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? They give me 3 meals a day in this joint. I'm all right. But I had one officer, I don't know if he felt bad for me or cool, because I used to cuss him out every day. Don't come to my cell, get away from me. Or if you ain't bringing me the phone, don't say nothing to me. So he had came in there one day and he had said, I don't know if he did it spitefully and just lied and said it, but he came to my cell one day. He was like, Gilmore, this is 8 bags of tuna. This is 8 bags of tuna. I bought some stuff at the Safeway, and I had it in my bag in my car, and I bought it in here, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it to you. I took it. I did. I took it. So I had them 8 cans of tuna, and what they was feeding me on that. And then, you know, during July and August, the Ramadan. So I would have that, you know what I'm saying, at night or whatever, but they couldn't believe it. And this was in Hazleton, I was in the SHU. They could not believe it. They was like, she all right back there, until that little riot came between DC and Florida, and they wanted to put one of the Florida girls in my cell, and I said, are you crazy? I completely went off. But other than that, I can do my time in the SHU. I can't. You don't have no TV. It's really solitary confinement. It really is. And they couldn't believe it. So they kept on, you know, like they went to the lieutenant and was like, we need you to try to get Gilmore to go and see the psychologist, because they couldn't believe I was content. They came back there. They came back there every day. Knock, Gilmore, you all right? I'm like, man, I'm okay. In the SHU, you don't have no window. You got a slide window, and you can barely see, but I could see, because the girls on the yard, they could see me through the window, and I could see them. So I would knock on the window and talk to them, and they would knock on the window and talk to me back. But for real, I was good living in the SHU. A lot of men can't do the whole. They can't live in there like that. They can't. But I can. And so when one day he came and he was like, the psychologist came today, and we need to take you up there. So I was fussing. I was like, I'm not going to see no damn psychologist, and y'all not doing that to me. Like, y'all trying to make me take medication away. I'm not taking none of that. I'm not doing that. So the sergeant came and he was like, Gilmore, please calm down. It's just they want to make sure that you okay, because you the only inmate we ever had in the SHU that's never complained about being back here. You just quiet. So I go see her. She's sitting there. I'm looking at her like, what is it that you want to say to me? She said, Gilmore, I'm fine. I said, the only thing that I miss is calling my son. But they give me my son mail. I know my son is good. So whatever my time is up in here, I'm good. What else do y'all want me to say? So she told him, she was like, she asked me a couple of questions. She was like, she's not crazy, and I'm not gonna prescribe no medicine for her or not. She's sleeping, she doing everything. You just got 1 out of 1,000,000. I could, because it's more, to me, the solitary confinement is more adjustable for me, because I ain't got to deal with no bras screaming and hollering over the TV, no girlfriend and girlfriend stuff, just none of that stuff that was going on in the unit. And you know, anytime one inmate do something, all the inmates, you hold that charge too. And that's the sad part about it. One inmate do something, but the dudes, they don't do them like that. The men, I say, and I will say this again, the men have, even though they go through a lot, they really do, with that beating of the police beating them, a lot of them, and I just said on my thing, a lot of men are losing their lives, man, in prison by the hands of the police. So they go through a lot. But for the most part, about the rules and the regulations, they don't go through it. Because like the RDAP program, it's a residential drug treatment program. The females make it so hard, like they watch, you know, you're not supposed to do certain things, so they'll watch you. Oh, I'm gonna tell your DTS, a DTS is your drug treatment specialist. I'm gonna tell your DTS, you're gonna get a shot. They do all type of stuff to you to try to make you fail the program. As for the men, they laid back. The dudes go in there, they get in the program, another dude gonna help him pass, he gone about his business, he's got his 18 months old. But for the women, they try to take you through so much, man, you know what I'm saying, to make your time hard so you can't go through the program. And when I heard that, it kind of made me mad, for real. It really made me mad. I said, you know, and then, you know, like the men, we ain't had jobs. We didn't have jobs that paid us. We didn't have programs that we could take to bring out to the street to get a job. They had a nursing program, a CNA program, and they had, what's the other program? They had another program, and we had to pay for that. You pay for it out your commissary, or your family send you the money. We had to pay for that. Them dudes, they had, I forgot I'll find out what it is, but they had this type of like, what you call, like, it was like a little, it's something like all the men, it's like, I can't think of a job, but all the men get together. I mean, it's all connected to the men, and whatever dude is in that it's like a program, but it's called something else. But all the men, you get to go to that, and you survive out of that, and you be successful. So when you come to the streets, you have a certificate, you had the education and everything to seriously get a job. But the women didn't have that. No prison I went to for the women, we had that. Now, did they have programs? They had little bull crap where we took, every prison I went to, I was in classes. And I learned that from my father, because he has a lot of certificates for a lot of different classes. So I said, I'm going to, it's called program myself while I'm here and stay busy. So every prison I went to, I went and I signed up for this class. I went and I signed up for the class. But they didn't have as many classes as the men. They didn't. They didn't. When I was in Alderson, I thought that was the worst place I could be, because Camp Cupcake, where Martha Stewart was, they had, the hills was so big, like the hills was very big, like you dragging your commissary bag up a hill, and that stuff weighs you down as a woman, like your bones and stuff get tight. I was like, I'm getting the hell out of here. Yeah, I'm gonna figure this out. So I figured it out, and I got up out of there. But then when they sent me to Danbury and I started going to different prisons, I was like, I should have just stayed there. But it did something for me. It taught me how prison really was, because if I wouldn't have never went to all those different prisons, I would not really know the ins and the outs and what really goes on in prison. I would only know about one prison, and it might have not really clicked to my head. You know what I'm saying? If things didn't happen to me like it did, it might not click to my head. So I probably would have been in a mode to come back out to the streets and do the same thing, because I probably would have been like, oh, that was a piece of cake, I ran past that, you know what I'm saying? but it was not. It was not. You know what I'm saying? When you got somebody coming in your cell telling you, get up, it's 4 o'clock, it's 5 o'clock, and if you ain't made the bed, you going to the shoe. Come on, man. Like, for real. For real. It's a certain time you gotta take your clothes to laundry. Your clothes will get missing in laundry. You out there fighting or arguing with the people about laundry. Then you got times where your clothes in the laundry, they put your clothes with another bra clothes who probably stooling on herself, or she peeing on herself. So all y'all clothes in the same wash, your clothes come out smelling like hers. And that happened to me. And everything I had, and it made me mad because my graze was in there, and my graze is the part that you buy off commissary. I went to the laundry and I told them, I'm not taking this, and each piece of my graze in there, y'all gonna have to do something, or y'all gonna have to go, we gonna go to the lieutenant office, or we gonna go to my counselor, somebody. But my clothes smell like piss. I don't piss on myself. I'm not taking nothing out of that bag. I'm not even taking the bag. So they ended up calling my counselor, and she was like, Gilmore, why don't you? I said, I'm not calling home asking my family to send me more money for grades, because y'all can't figure out how to wash the clothes in here, and y'all got inmates in here pissing and doodling on themselves, and their clothes in there with our clothes. No, I'm not doing that. She was like, Gilmore, so what do you suggest? I said, somebody, you gonna ask the lieutenant, ask the DTS, somebody in here gonna give me a ticket, and I'm gonna get me some new gray clothes. That's what we're gonna do. Or I'm going to the shoe, because I'm gonna raise hell the whole time I'm here. So she was like, let me, where's your clothes at? When she smelled them clothes, she said, I can't even send her back. And her name was Miss Harvey. She was a black lady with short hair. I was like, Miss Harvey, I am not taking them clothes to my unit, and I'm not taking them with me. She smelled them clothes. She was like, I don't blame you, Gilmore. Come on. She was like, come on, let's go. She took me down to commissary and got a list and told commissary to send the tab to the warden. We had a woman warden at Danbury. She refused to sign it. Oh, I said, okay. So Miss Harvey came back to get me. She said the warden is refusing to sign the Gilmore. I said, guess what? I got her. It's breakfast time. We get out. They start count at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. We get out to go to breakfast. I went straight over to the warden's office. I was knocking on it. I was like, I'm going to the shoe today, because you're not doing that. So she wasn't in there, but her assistant was in there. And I was like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I will. I don't care. I said, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care nothing about y'all calling the goon squad right now. I don't care nothing about going to the shoe. I said, Miss Harvey sent a ticket over here for me to get new grays, because they washed my grays with the other people's grays, and my grays were smelling pissy. I'm not taking them. I'm not washing them myself. I'm not doing none of that. I said, it's wrong for her to deny to give me the grays. So she was like, Miss Gilmore, what unit you was in? I said, I'm in C12. She was like, okay, let me go upstairs and find out. Just wait right here. So I'm waiting right there. So while I'm waiting right there, my counselor, Miss Harvey, she coming across the compound. She like, Gilmore, you crazy. I was like, Denny mug. Because if she think I'm gonna take them clothes back to my unit and put them on, I'm a prisoner, but I ain't going out like that. I don't care what's gonna happen at this point. So the assistant went upstairs. She said, Gilmore, we had some other tickets in there. I'm gonna take and I'm gonna put your ticket. I said, I've been waiting 3 days. No. She said, I'm telling you, I'm gonna put the ticket in there, and when you go to commissary on Friday, I'm gonna send the ticket down there and you get your grades. So me and the Muslim sister side, she was working there, we was real cool. She came out, she looked at me, she was like, something is wrong with you. I was like, no, something is wrong with them. I'm not doing that. You already got us locked up, treating us like trash, and you want me to put on them funky clothes. No. So I ended up getting my grades, and what I did, I just stopped sending my stuff to laundry. So on commissary, I ended up, Sai had told me they had these little packets on commissary of the Tide and the Downy and stuff like that. So I ended up buying that and washing my clothes. Like when they was outside, when it was rec time, When everybody was out for rec, I would take my clothes in the back and wash them and hang my clothes up in my cell. I never sent my clothes. And then my DTS, he found out that I was doing that. He was like, Gilmore, you not sending your clothes in laundry? I said, no. And I'm not sending my clothes in laundry. So he was like, so you just go? I said, I'm gonna wash them on my hand and I'm gonna hang them up in the cell. If my bunkie got a problem with it, you can escort her out or you can move me out. But I'm not sending my clothes back down the laundry. I refuse, because they not gonna let. They only gonna give me a little give me the what you call it, the credit one time. I'm not gonna be able to get the credit again. And these bras in here is funky. So when I got in a drug program, man, the girls in the drug program, they would do anything for you to get a shot. The girl, she got in a shot, and I mean, like, stuff that you do at home, you can't do at prison. Like, and I told them, they was like, Gilmore, I know you smell her. She was using the bathroom in the shower. I was like, they gonna beat the fuck out of her. I'm telling you. So I'm coming out the shower. Two bras, they coming. They calling me, Gilmore. I'm like, what? They like, don't lie, Gilmore. You know she just came out the shower. So I'm looking at them like, y'all already know she just came out the shower. Why you want to put me in it? So she in her room. Man, they went in and they was like, why you keep pissing in the shower? She said, I'm not pissing in the shower. That's not me. That's the other inmates. They beat her ass in her cell. I was like, we all going down. They coming to that snatch, all of us. They got us on the camera. They got them two talking to me. They got her coming out the shower, going to her cell, and another lady, she get in the shower. I said, oh my God. We get down to the lieutenant. They like, all y'all better start talking. So we all started looking at each other. I was like, I don't got nothing to say. If the camera didn't tell you what was going on, I ain't got nothing to say. You gonna do what you gonna do, just do it. So the other girl, she said, well, you just tell us how you feel about somebody urinating in the shower. I was like, oh my God. So he was like, do all y'all agree? So me and the other girl, I was just looking the other way. I was like, look, I don't know what's going on. He was like, Gilmore, you always talking about you don't know what's going on. I said, because that's what I said. I don't know what's going on. I don't have nothing to do with this. Why you got me down here before I start flicking off in this motherfucker? He was like, just go ahead to the unit. Just go ahead to the unit. So we walking. I was like, why would you even come? Y'all already beat her up. Why would you even come out your mouth and say something? She's talking about, Gilmore, you mean this? I said, I'm mean, but y'all take her and y'all in her cell and beat her up. Y'all beat her up. So we go, they got her transferred out the unit. She go to another unit. She went to the unit down the walkway. I'll just say down the walkway because y'all don't know, but down the compound. Man, they come to the girls in that unit come to our unit. They like, listen, y'all had so and so in this unit. We want her out our unit. We don't want her in the unit. Y'all gonna have to take her back. We like, we're not taking her back. We're not taking her back. So every girl in our unit, we like, we're not taking her back. They sent her to y'all unit. Y'all take her ass down there. They like, no, she coming back to this unit. Man, she get down there with them and get the door. I don't know what she did something. But they ended up putting her in the chute and transferring her. I was like, prison is... You have, like, I will say, because there was some days I had good days. Like, you can work, but you don't make money. You don't really make money. You make, like Hazelton, when I was working, I was working doing the showers. So I was making like $25 a month. Danbury, I was making, and the only reason we ended up getting somebody we was working for, she was retiring. And that was HVAC. I ain't know one thing about HVAC. She had me on the roof, and I'm just standing there looking like, this cannot be real. But she was retiring, so she really didn't care. So they had us making $5 a month. She was like, I'm telling y'all what I'm putting in each one of y'all account, and y'all just be quiet. So she ended up giving us $25 a month. So that made us have $30 a month in our commissary. But for real, I don't know what the men make. I I don't know what the men make, but for women, all the prisons that I went to, I had a job. And I had to have a job because I had restitution to pay. That was one. And then when you in a drug program, you got restitution, you have to pay your restitution, because if you don't pay your restitution, they will take your program. So I had to have a job. So it was cool with me. But then when I got to Alabama, Aliceville, Alabama was the new prison for women. So when I got out there, they didn't have the drug program out there, but they had drug treatment specialists. So that made a difference for me because I didn't have to work. As long as I kept at least $25 in my account for them to put it towards my restitution, I was good. But when I came home, I told my family, I was like, Virginia I'm not giving them no more money. They done got over 9.5 years of $25 from me. That's it. Whatever they saying I owe, I'm not gonna be able to pay it back anyway. So I'm not thinking about them. So when I came home, they had I filed a motion to tell them, like, I'm on the street now. I'm trying to get my life together and go ahead by myself. We need to count up how much money y'all already got while I was in prison, and you need to take that from what y'all saying I owe. They said I owed $170,000, but you put me in the book, in the newspaper, for $120,000. So how much do I owe? So I had to get a lawyer and everything. When I first came home, I was still in the halfway house. So we go to court. I had to get a motion to modify. This man did not know how much money. He said, do you have your receipts from prison? I said, what? No. You add up how much time I was in prison, each prison I went to. But he couldn't, because there were days that I wasn't in prison. I was in transit because they kept transferring me here and transferring me in. So I wasn't paying. So my lawyer was like, we get ready to get this get ready to be done with, Gilmore. I'm saying in my head, it's about to be done with, because if you can't add it up, you asking me to add up. They don't give me no receipt from prison. It's supposed to go on my record that I paid. Man, the judge said, y'all don't have the amount that she paid. So he tried to add it up. He was like, this is not working. This is not working. So anyway, he said, Gilmore, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put you back on $25 a month, and you pay $25 a month. If you don't have the $25, then you write me and you tell me why you don't have $25. I'm looking at him like, okay, I got something for y'all. Y'all want to keep playing, because Virginia is terrible. I was like, oh, y'all want to keep playing games about this restitution money? All right. I gave them out. When I got out the halfway house, I gave them 6 more months of restitution money, and guess what I did? Then COVID hit. I said, I ain't got it. Lock me up, do whatever you want to do. Y'all can't figure out how much I already paid. I ain't got it. So they ended up, they ain't put a warrant on me. They sent me a paper and said I had to come to court. So I go to court. He said, Miss Gilmore, how much did you pay? So I had the 6 months. I said, here you go. This is 6 months right here, plus the 9.5 that I done gave. Like, come on now. They can't add it up. You don't know how much I got left. Then he was like, you know what? When you get a job, we're going to just take it out your taxes. I said, oh, that will never happen. That would never happen. But I be seeing people, because this is what this girl is locked up for. She didn't pay her restitution. And I told her, I said, you should have, I said, if you would talk to me about it first. But people don't want other people in their business when stuff is going on, and I understand that. But something like that, I said, you knew I was paying restitution. I told you that. I'm not ashamed of that. That's how I go. When you get locked up, if you're doing a money scheme or anything with money, you got to pay restitution. Or if you hurt a person or something like that, they make you pay restitution. Her restitution was $375. I said, shit, they would have never put me in a bind like that. So she gonna be all right though, but she still got to go to the feds. So she just said, she told them, at the end of the day, I'm gonna just take my time. I'm not gonna keep on going through, well, I gotta pay this, which makes sense to me. Whether I gotta pay this, whether I gotta pay this, y'all keep locking me up, letting me go, lock me up, let me go. Just let me go ahead and do these little 3 months, and I'm done with it, which makes sense to me. So y'all, I wanted to share that with y'all. I'm about to go because now I gotta drive from Warsaw, Virginia, back to DC, which is cool. It's only 2.5 hours, but you know, I drive like a bat out of hell. So I'll probably be back in an hour and a half, but I don't want it to get rainy out here. And then it's dark. And down here in this is like the West Bubble country. It's nothing but trees on the highway. You don't see cars and stuff until you get to the hour. So the whole first hour you see nothing but trees and roadblocks, and when it get dark, I don't like that because you can't really see, you know what I'm saying? They got turning the high beams, and the streets is not wide, they're skinny. So you got this lane going down and this lane coming up. I can't, like, it's a little bit too much. So I hope y'all, enjoyed what I had to share with y'all. And just think about it. Like I will say, like I said again, like if you have any family members that in prison, women or men, and I tell people a lot of times, because I was in prison also with a lot of females, their families basically gave up on them because they were constantly using drugs, and they wouldn't stop using drugs. Like certain drugs, I say, like heroin and crack. I mean, weed is one thing, but I don't know, because I've never smoked these things. So I think weed is controllable. You can stop smoking weed if you want to, or you can continue. But as far as crack and heroin is the worst. Like, especially when a person is shooting up heroin, they're not going to ever stop that. And snorting it is even worse. They're not going to stop that. You know what I'm saying? Smoking crack, they're not going to stop that. So when you dealing with, my family is very big. I done dealt with all that in my family. So when you dealing, but I never like looked down on them or gave up on them. My cousin Tasha, she passed. She got some fentanyl in Edgewood, and she literally lost her life. And it was 100 degrees outside. She was sitting in the back of Edgewood, and nobody realized she was sitting back there, and she died. And that was around the time when all that fentanyl was going on. So they had like 8 people, including her. And they said 5 people just OD'd, 3 died, and she was one that died. My cousin, I'm going to do a story on her. I'm going to do a story on her. But for the most part, I never, ever turned my back on her. She, one time when I was hustling, I was living somewhere, and I'm going to put this in her story. And I had to go. I was running the street, you know what I'm saying? I was hustling, I was doing what I was doing. And she had been outside all night. She was dirty, she needed a bath, she needed to eat and everything. And I left her in my house. And when I came back, she had sold both of my TVs with less than 24 hours. So I didn't beat her up, I jacked her up, and she started crying, and she was like, "Cuz, I'm sorry, but I just needed to get high." So I went through that with her. And I have a sister many years ago. She was in a U-Haul truck with me. She was on heroin. So I had both of them. One on crack, one on heroin. She OD'd, and I pulled the U-Haul over, and I was beating her in her chest, and I literally brought her back to life. And I told her that was it for me. That was it for me, because I actually seen her lose her life in the flash of my eyes. So I mean, like, I never, like, I don't look down on certain people, but you do something to me, and you in that distance, yeah, I'm gonna bust you out and say something, yeah, because you done did something to me, especially about my son. But literally, I don't look down on people with drugs, habits and stuff, because it's serious. It really is. It's serious. So a lot of sisters that was in prison, their families gave up on them. They was like, "Look, I'm tired. You keep getting high. You won't go to a program." My cousin, I'm gonna say that when I do my story on her, I literally drove her to 2 out of town drug programs, and for some forsaken reason, she found the drugs in another city. So they say, no matter what city you go to, if you on drugs, an addict is going to find a way to get high, no matter where they go. And I'm a firm believer in that, because I had to deal with them. But in prison, and you had a lot of the females that didn't have family members. So what they did was they turned into boys. they became boys to survive, which is sad, but it's true. But then when it was time to go home, they turned right back into a bra in 2.8 seconds. They start the titties all taped up while they in prison. They got they Jimmy Jam on. They done took the underwears and made them a dildo and all type of mess. But when it's time to really go home and hit the street, they done came back, they done let their hair grow, and went on the commissary, bought black dye for their hair. They got curls, and a nigga on the street would never know. That's something to see. And when I saw it, I was like, this is unbelievable. So, baby, when they say the people send them boxes with the Reeboks and the drop socks, yeah, it's real. So I'll see y'all later. Whew, enjoy the rest of y'all weekend.